Okay, we're going to look at a barbell bench press. I'm going to do the basics at first with a dowel rod. This is a 6-foot dowel rod. An Olympic bar is 7 feet. It's similar. It's very light. So if you'd like to get familiar with this first without putting a lot of weight on the bar, then I invite you to use a broomstick or a dowel if you have one. You just need to have something that's large enough to grip a little wider than shoulder width apart. And that's the proper grip position for a bench press generally, where the inside of your hand meets the outside of your shoulder, okay? So we'll get on about how to unrack it and rack it from the rack in a minute, but what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna show you what it looks like when you're doing it face on, okay? All I'm doing here is I come down to my chest and I push the bar up as high as I can go. Now, if you have any shoulder issues or are worried that you might eventually have shoulder issues, I invite you to consider not going any lower than this, okay? 90 degrees at the elbows. But if you want to put on some muscle and get some strength, you have to use a full range of motion, okay? So, what do you do here? First, squeeze your shoulder blades together, okay? Grip the bar really tight. I want you to think in terms of bending the bar, okay? That forces you to grip it really tight. And cycles your elbows in a little bit so that your arms are about 30 degrees off of parallel with your shoulders, which starts to activate your triceps a little more than just your pecs, which this exercise is for. Your pecs pull your arms across the body, your triceps straighten your arms. And it also divides the load between your front deltoid muscle and your medial deltoid muscle. So it includes both of them, okay? So, grab the bar again. You breathe in and out. Remember, I'm bending the bar. Touch the chest, out. Touch the chest, out. Now, there's a natural arc that goes from my chest kind of up towards my chin. You can't really see it from here, but the bar doesn't really go straight up. Naturally, when I straighten my arms, it kind of comes up above my throat. So you can if that feels natural to you, do that. If it feels natural, just pushing it straight up over your chest, do that too. Things to remember: 5 points of contact. Your head's on the bench, your shoulder blades are squeezing on the bench, your butt is firmly on the bench, and your feet are flat on the ground with your thighs parallel to the ground or higher, okay? You don't want to have them lower so that your legs are angling down, okay? That's really unstable. And then take your toes and grip the ground. Squeeze them together like you're gripping the ground. Everything's tight. You're gripping the bar tight, you're bending, you're grabbing the ground, you're squeezing your shoulder blades. Everything's activated. Breathe in, out, in, out. Okay? That's with the dowel rod. So, I'm going to move the bench sideways and show you what I mean by the natural arc that happens when you do a chest press. And then I'm going to move the bench into the cage and I'm going to show you how to do it with the barbell. Okay? So the natural arc simply looks like this, where my arms come up and they kind of move towards my throat and my chin. Down to my chest, up to my throat and chin. Okay? Alright. Now, let's set it up so that we're using the barbell. I'm going to move this over here. Some of this might be hard to see. Move the TRX out of the way here so you can see as much as possible. The first thing I want to point out is that when I lay down on the bench, okay, my eyes are right underneath the bar. If I come back here like this, when I unrack it, I'm going to have trouble unracking it, and I'm going to have to keep it too far out over my body to press. Otherwise, I'm going to risk hitting the rack. So I want to start out here so that when I unrack it, it's out over my chest and there's 6 to 8 inches of clearance from the rack. Okay? Everything else is as I described. I use the bar to pull myself up and squeeze my shoulder blades together. Tighten my core. My head is firm against the bench. My butt is firm against the bench. My feet are gripping the ground. Grab the bar just a little wider than shoulder width. I'm going to squeeze it and I'm going to try and bend it. Then what I'm going to do is breathe in, out, push it off the rack. I'm going to breathe in as I slowly lower it to my chest, and then out as I push it up a little more rapidly. Nice and controlled down, Breathe out and explode up. Bodybuilding style. You don't stop, okay? You push right up, come right back down. Nice and controlled. Up, come back down. Powerlifting style. Lock out. Breathe in and lock out. Breathe in, lock out. Okay, now you move it back to the rack. Work both ways to make sure the bar's on the rack. And then you can use the bar and a foothold if you have one, you don't have any back problems, to pull yourself up and end the motion. Okay? So, remember, everything's tight. Nice slow and control on the way down and explode up. Don't forget to start with the bar underneath your eyes or else you're going to hit the rack. Okay? So again, this is for the pecs, for the triceps, and for the shoulders. Great exercise.